Assalamu alaikum. Today is the third day for the cloud computing Ramadan sessions. So let me start uh, with third day sessions. Let me make my presentation ready. Today I'm gonna talk more of the AWS certification exam. Since like we are here, there are many people. Why we are here? We need to build our career in cloud computing. We need to uh, build the knowledge in cloud computing. So AWS has given the different path for the different people who has different interest, but every path start from cloud practitioner. So if you see here, 4 times 3, 12, and 13 certification available for the Amazon Cloud, Amazon Cloud, AWS Cloud, wherein like you have to choose your own path. And certification exams will give you a lot of value, not only job cracking, job interview crack, it also helps you to do the actual job. Once you complete the cert, this means you you complete like minimum required thing to do within that area. So let me move to the another slide. The certification has a different path, like, and every path, as I mentioned, it start with the foundationals. So what is foundational? So AWS Cloud Practitioner exams is the foundational exams. Everyone must have to go with a cloud practitioner, no matter, irrespective of any path you have to choose it, right? So well, cloud practitioner is a very basic level of certifications, and wherein like primary focus of the cloud practitioner is to know, or is to tell you what all services is available on a very high level way, so that like you are aware of that these are the services available and all those things. So basic awareness of this program. Good, all good. So cloud, once you clear with the cloud practitioner, you can jump into the associate level certification. And from my experience perspective, I was mentor like many folks to complete the certifications. The cloud practitioner usually a weeks to 2 weeks time frame, but you can plan for 3 weeks or a month. It's up to you based on your time you will be investing on the cloud. So, but 2 weeks to 3 weeks is it's a good amount of time to complete that. And I would recommend the people should book the exams and work backward, make a plan, give the test, done. Okay, so coming to the associate level certification, it has 4 different type of certifications. SysOps, developer, data engineer, and solution architect. No, suppose you want to go with the SysOps, you want to build your career in DevOps, DevSecOps, system administrator. So you choose this one, associate set of SysOps. If you want to go with a developer, like writing code or building application, go with the application developer. If you want to be architect, like go with the solution architect. If you want to be a data side, go with a data engineer. But coming to the next level of associate certification is the professional set. Professional set is a very uh, respected certifications, and it has only 2 professional set available. One is for the architect, another is for the DevOps engineer. So once you complete these 2 cert, like this has some minimum requirement, 2 years of prior AWS cloud experience recommended to have these exams. But they have, after completion of this, you will be able to solve many business problem. You will be able to design in the whole system, and you help the team, you help the company. So that's what is the professional level of certification. So, but on top of that, like after this, there's one path, but these are the specialty certifications. And this is also playing key role. Like if you have one or other kind of a specialty certification, this means you prove that you are specialized in this area. For example, database, you're specialized in database. For example, security, you're specialized in security. Yeah. data analytics, and advanced networking. So these are the specialty area. This is also complex certifications. I would recommend uh, once you have some hands-on experience, then you should go with the specialty exams, and it takes like 2 to 3 months if you invest time on daily basis. And any certifications, if you prepare or if you study on off kind of thing, so it's very hard to uh, get that completed. Rather, like we have to make a plan and book the exams and work backward and mm, knock that off. So out of this certification, there are a bunch of certifications are retiring, like database, SAP on AWS, and data analytics, but some still machine learning, security, and advanced networking. We may see some new certifications in recent upcoming days, like maybe some AI related certification they will introduce, but they have not introduced at this point of time. Right. So certification is key thing. You have to choose your own career. You have to choose your own path. Stick with that. Get completed those certifications and start getting ready for the job interview and all those things. Okay. Now coming back to the AWS services. So one of the service is Lambda, but the nature of the service is serverless. What do you mean by serverless? Serverless means like if you are working on any computer, so computer has client and servers. So server can process all the requests and give it back to the client. But in that case, and you need to set up one server, one client. But in this case, like some of the AWS services does not require server. It is a serverless, and which comes up with a lot of different benefits. Serverless compute. If you want to uh, if you want to run your code in serverless environment, so you may have to pay a very little amount, million, and this will get calculated based on the request. So, and very little amount you have to pay for the request. And request is this is also auto scaling. Once the volumes are huge, then automatically it will be scale or just scale up and scale down. Also, this has a nature of the event driven programming. Like for example, if you want to write some event, some event happen based on that, like you have to write some kind of code. For example, some uh, data gets inserted into the database, then some kind of event happen, as code can be get triggered. So these are the things is capabilities of the serverless, and we have bunch of services which has this characteristics of the serverless, but we will talk more of the about the lambda function today. So lambda is a serverless function. So introduction to serverless here. uh, AWS has serverless recently introduced the serverless, but not very recent. Like it has quite a few years, but this is the one of the game changer for the AWS cloud, introducing the serverless concept. Earlier, it was a data center, then infrastructure as a service, the platform as a service, the container, and the serverless. So AWS, the name of the serverless serverless service name is AWS Lambda, and every service is come up with one is their logo. So if you see the this orange red color icon or image, this is the Lambda icon. So whenever you are writing code in serverless, or if you're using Lambda, so it also gives not only one or two language, it gives multiple language, coding language options to write a code. We will go through one by one. So Java, Go, PowerShell, Node.js, C Sharp, Python, and Ruby, etc. There's the many language you can write the code. I'm very good at Java, then I can write a code in Java. If you are good in Python, you can write the code in Python. So basically, multiple options without servers. This is really a game changer product for the development team and even for the individual developers. Event-driven architecture. What is the event-driven architecture? Lambda function can be automatically triggered. Other by the other AWS services, or Lambda function can be called by the users. If you see my second image here, a user can call the Lambda functions based on some event, based on some trigger. User can trigger that. At the same time, the third image shows based on the S3 bucket, based on the some database event, Lambda function is get trigger and do some operations. On the very first image, you can see here Lambda triggers with these many different services. So Lambda works on Dynamo, DB, Kinesis firehose stream, SQS, application load balancer, API gateway, Alexa, CloudFront, S3. These are the services. Also, everybody is aware of the Amazon Echo and Amazon Alexa. So what is that? These are the device. You ask, give some command, you will get some command result back. So similarly, the Lambda has written for that. Like once you give something gets triggered, and it will search that, and it will return you back. Okay. So now uh, demo of the AWS Lambda. Today's demo we will talk about the how the AWS Lambda you can write the AWS Lambda code, how the log files will generate, and also we will see the CloudWatch, Amazon CloudWatch, how the logs is generated. So the demo is like a URL checker demo. Suppose like you have a code or like wherein you need to check the existence and uh, accuracies, or I check the existence of the URL of any URL, and based on that take you can take some decisions. Like for example, if you say like www.amazon.com on google.com, if the URL is valid, then you can say something. If URL is not valid, you can throw the exception. So for that, let me share my screen to do some um, okay, let me stop here. I need to log in to my cloud practitioner cloud account. Just wait a second, please. Notepad. I'm sharing this, bringing my notepad into the different screen to get some commands and code. So now I need to log into the AWS console. So let me grab some user ID password. AWS developer. I'm grabbing the user ID password from my personal playground, and just give me a moment. Starting a lab. All right, so this is the account, this is a user, and this is the password, right? So you see the same screen like you have seen yesterday and day before yesterday. This is the AWS console. These are the mm, regions, US East 1. So we are in East 1, and these are the services. So let's find the Lambda service. If you don't find in the favorite Lambda service, if you see the Lambda service, the same icon on is there. So there's nothing here. Now I just need to create a Lambda function. So Lambda functions gives three different types of opportunities to create that: author from scratch, blueprint, and container image. So let me write some function name. My function URLs checker. Okay, so these are the function name. If you see, we talked about like Lambda code can write in different language supported coding language, wherein .NET 8, C Sharp, F hash, and PowerShell. Java 21, Node.js 2.20.x, Python 3.12, Ruby 3.3, and Linux 23. So these are the supported language for the Lambda. So let me select the Node.js. It is already selected. So once I selected Node.js, then I should go ahead and create functions. So once I create a functions, it will give you the detailed place like IDE to write your code. So see, this is the Lambda, and if you see here, this is on a Amazon resource name. So this means like this is a uniquely identifier of the resources. So this means that my function name is URL function URL checks, and this available in this account. It is available in US East one, and it is the Lambda functions. So whenever you create a new Lambda function, so you have some sample code here. So just remove that sample code, and let me bring some code from my desktop. Okay, so download. I downloaded some Lambda code. So this is the Lambda code. Now what we are trying to do here, we are writing HTTPS, we are writing some URL, and we are writing this handler. What is handler? We will talk about later, like what is handler when we are going to the detail section. So this will get this will input this will take the input as an URL and check whether this URL is valid or not after resolving the URL. And if it is valid, it will send you the status code 200. If it is not valid, it will throw you an error. So this is the code, and now I need to test this. So create a test event. So every function, if you want to test, then you should have the test event. So test, just write the test and make template as is. And before invocations, like you have to save the functions. Once you save that, now you can test the Lambda. What you are seeing that? Just take a moment and read this. What is this? The test event name is test. The response code is 200. What does it mean by response code 200? This means successfully it is executed. So body says like hello from the Lambda. This means that your code is executed and user is getting back the results from the code, right? Cool. Now, I want to do some changes. Like I want to test the Amazon.com to Amazon2.com. So if I test that, it is 200 again, it is executing, but there is no Amazon2.com. If you see here, Amazon2.com, there's no website exist. It is still redirected to the Amazon, right? So now, so how do we test that? So once you fix any changes or once you do any changes, you have to deploy the changes. Once you deploy the changes, updating the functions, it is a green bar on the top, like it says like successfully updated the functions in my function checkers, right? So once we have done this thing, then we will be able to test it. Test. What is happening? Just read the error type, reference error message required is not defined in ES module scope, and there are a bunch of errors. This means this is not executed successfully. This means like the URL is not resolved, URL is not correct, and you are getting the error. So this is your first Lambda function, so wherein you can see that you write the Lambda function, you test that Lambda functions, and it does not require any kind of servers, right? So let's read now. Let's do something, the logging, how the logging and all those things work. So you executed twice this Lambda functions. Hit on the monitor and just see what is this dashboard. All the activity of the Lambda gets captured in this dashboard, and no need to create this dashboard. No teams are creating this dashboard. uh, it is already given by the cloud provider. If since like you have taken the subscription or service, you are using that, then this is part of the CloudWatch. So this is, and CloudWatch is tightly integrated with Lambda. So just read this. What is this? Invocation is a dashboard. Duration is one of the dashboard. And what is that? Error count and success rate. So if you see, everything has some spot, red and blue spot. So this is invocation. So how many invocation? There is one invocation. Duration, what is the duration? It has some durations, 3.31 millisecond. And error count, there is one error count, I think, I believe so. There's zero error. So the last result was not posted yet. It takes some time. There are some latencies, like sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes we will experience some latencies like post the log here. There is no throttle because only one request, recursive invocation dropped, and total concurrent execution, those all things. So a bunch of dashboard is available. So this will, as if you see here, the recent invocation timestamp is this. These are the request IDs. Millisecond 150 1509.78 millisecond, build duration millisecond, this, and memory usage and all those things. So this is the pretty nicely built dashboard, which you don't need to build the dashboard explicitly for all this matrices and logs. Now go directly to the CloudWatch rather than seeing here. So I hit on the CloudWatch now. So do you see the CloudWatch here? Yeah. So two logs. These are log event. You can deep dive these logs. So these are the successful log. These are the error log. So no, the previous one of the error log, this was the successful log. So here you don't see many difference because we have only one or two requests, but there are millions of requests is coming through the Lambda invocations, and something goes wrong. Though this is the first place like you can start with, find some queries, write some queries to get what types of error is this, and then which code is throwing this error, log it, mine it, and fix it. This is very important and very critical service because if you're using Lambda or many other serverless service or any other services, then if you're not logging your events, so for example, some password attempt, if you're not logging it, so you will not see that like what's happening, and you will not be able to fix that. So this is playing very key roles during entire SDLC process. Yeah. All right. So Lambda is done. So uh, today we need to talk with the Lambda. So next. We will talk something just touch base with another service called DynamoDB. So this is one of the Amazon service called DynamoDB, wherein like you can store uh, your key value pair within a table format, and this would be very easy and fast. Like once you read like key and value pair kind of data structure, you can use this my test table. I'm just creating a table here, partition key P1. What is partition key and all those things we can talk. We're just considering the service overview rather than like service detail and all, a deep dive on it. So this table is active now. I'm selecting this table, add update setting, remove tags from selection, turn on. So click on this, right? And now edit capacity, create item. So I'm just creating item test one, Java. Then again, you can create items. No, okay. This is the table capacity. Create item one more time. Python. Go back to this DynamoDB and see the table, and you can see the create item, delete tables, create index, export to S3, manage tag, edit capacity. So you can read this table, get the live item count, start a scan. There's 2 items and all those things. All right. So this is the Lambda Dynamo. There's similarly, like similar to Dynamo, there are many other database related services called Athena, which helps you building analytics capabilities, getting the data from the S3s and build some analytics. And there is service called QuickSight, like you can build the dashboard. Similar, there are many other services. So yeah, tomorrow our focus is like security related AWS services, how to secure the data, how to secure the code, how to help your customer secure deliverables. So those all things. Uh, if you don't have any other question, if you have any questions, like I'm happy to talk or happy to take that questions. Otherwise, like we should be good. Uh, so I'm just closing the bridge. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.